I feel so incredibly honored to sing this. This is one of my favorite songs about spirituality, and it's by the brilliant, amazing Amy Steinberg. And she gave me her blessing to sing this today and said, have fun. So let's have fun. Exactly where I need to be, I need to be exactly where I am surrendering so willingly to be the perfect me inside this now and truly. How else could it be? Destiny, she blesses me, destiny, she blesses me. And when I try to fight or run, I only wind up back at square one. And when I think I know what's best for me, fate, she takes me back to exactly where I need to be. I am exactly where I need to be, I need to be exactly where I am divinely timed and shining brightly. Yes, I believe that there's a purpose just for me. Yes, I believe that we are light and we shine infinitely. Oh, I am exactly where I need to be. I need to be exactly where I am not aimlessly existing. See, I am in perfect harmony with universal energy, and I am truly free when I accept my own divinity. Look at me closely and tell me exactly what you see. If you are paying attention, you will now begin ascension of the mind. Why? Because if you look at me just right, you will see a kiss. For it took a kiss to make this breath exist, the intersection of my mother's and father's lips to touch, twist, perfect what came next to produce me. Look at me and you will see the breeze. The breeze it took to make the leaves to shake with its hair move. My father had touched it and say, please may I have a kiss. Yes, the breeze made me exist. And if you want to get into deeper into this right now, if you look at me, you will see a big old cloud. That's right. The cloud it took to form the storm to make the breeze to shake the leaves to inspire the lip lock. Yes, a raindrop will pop up at this word. You heard me right. If you look at me close enough, you will see a dark, stormy night. And what is night? A night without the polar absent sunlight. So if you watch the way my hands sway, you'll see the light of day. And every day is a testament to the sentiment of the earth's core, that ever-spinning enormous force. If you look at me right, you'll see a spark of the source. But the most fascinating thing about this is truth, that if you look at me right, you see you. Well, what you believe, can you believe that in between you and me, that creates reality. So when I sing, you're confused. When I cry, you can hear it. When I speak words, you can be the words I speak. By singing with me, peace, love, free. Peace, love, free. Peace, love, free. Peace, love, free. Come on, peace, love, free. Peace, love, free. Peace, love, free. Peace, love, free. And when I try to fight or run, I only wind up back at square one. And when I think I know what's best for me, fate, she takes me back to exactly where I need to be. And when I am alone and full of fear, I just remember the rising sun always appears, and everyday miracles, miracles that take me back. You take me back, you take me back, you take me back, you take me back to exactly where I need you. Da, 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 da. Oh, yeah, yeah. where I am a blessing manifest. Thank you.
Trust. The difference between trust and surrender. Oh, receptivity prayer. Thank you. Here we go. I love my people. Here we go. I am open to the evolution of my soul. My mind is alert. My heart is receptive. My next step is here and now. Thank you, Deanna. Okay, you can raise that up now. Now I will talk to you about trust. And the difference between trust and surrender. I hear people talking about this all the time and confusing these two, and I thought it was time to actually speak to it. Because there is a difference. There's a difference between surrender and letting go and trust. Trust is different. Trust is deeper. Now, there is one word in the English language that makes me cringe. Only one. It is the word semantics. When somebody says to me, you're only talking semantics. And no, because what we know is that words have power. Words have power. We create out of the words we think, out of the words we say, out of the words we believe, out of the words we take action out of. That's why our thing here is change your thinking, change your life. It's not change your circumstances, change your life. It's change your thinking, change your life. But to do that, you first have to understand what it is you're thinking and not think of it as semantics, but think of it as the power of the words that you are bringing forth. So as I speak to you about the difference between trust and over here, surrender and letting go, don't think about it as semantics, but take in that these words have a definition, and these definitions are deep within our psyche, and within that psyche, we are creating what it is we are experiencing in life. Trust is what Dr. Holmes calls the calm assurance. It's a deep abiding of knowing, absolutely knowing, that of course our lives work. That's trust. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is, doesn't matter what it looks like, doesn't matter what it feels like. That only matters is to know that whatever this circumstance is, to trust in the fact that there is something here that our soul, our internal beingness has brought forth for us for the explicit purpose of our growth, of our moving into who we have come here to be. Trust. When we look at a circumstance and instead of acting out on it and going, oh my God, I need this circumstance to change, I can't take this, it's too much, I can't handle it anymore, then we have lost that trust. And then a lot of times what happens is the best we can do is surrender and let go. That's a great first step. So I am not sitting here before you saying, don't surrender and let go, because sometimes that's the best we got if we haven't yet gotten to trust. But when we're in trust, there's no need for surrender or let go. It's already foundationally right here. There's no place you have to move or do or be or anything like that, because it's exactly how it needs to be. It needs to be. And so that's the thing, right, that we're all kind of working with here. So it's a great first step if you don't have trust to be in a place of, okay, I'm going to surrender to this. And believe me when I tell you that that has been a place for me that I have been in, that the best I could do is simply surrender and let go. I got to let go, or use those words that some people like to use, let God or whatever, and just surrender it. Give it up, have it be, because I can't carry this anymore. Has anybody else ever felt that way? Am I the only one here? Okay, so that's a good start. That is not a bad place to be. Yet I offer you and encourage you to practice the art of trust. because it is deeper. And when I feel that place of trust, my foundation goes down to the center of the earth. I am unmovable. And I feel it. I feel that place of just being so deeply in the trust of it all that whatever's going on doesn't matter. And that's really the key here, to trust, is whatever circumstance you're dealing with doesn't actually matter. Now, I know there are people who'll be in this room and say, oh, well, it does matter. Racism matters. And if I've got cancer, that matters. And all these things matter. And I'm here to say that actually, if you focus on those things, you give power to those things. And what we really want to do is rise above that and be the stand, like Karen said, be the change we want to be in the world. And you can't be that change by being in a place of constantly looking at what it is you don't want. Because when you're sitting in a place of where it is that you're looking at what it is you don't want, you're giving power to that exact thing that you don't want. Where what we want to do is stand and know and trust that love wins. And a lot of times that's really hard in the face of many of the circumstances that we face in life, to remember that love wins, that there's something higher and greater inside ourselves that must come out on top, because that's what this is all about. What this is all about in life is that our spirit, our love, our nature comes out on top. That when we are willing to stand firm in knowing, in deep knowing, that it is our love, our beingness that brings forth the change we want to see in the world, that brings forth who we have come here to be in the world. Not so easy to do. So once again, I got nothing against the surrender and let go part. I know that's the best. Some people got it sometimes. That's the best I got it sometimes. But I want to be clear that there's something greater going on. There's this book we follow here called Good to Great. And in it has a thing called the Stockdale Paradox. The Stockdale Paradox was put together around a person named General Stockdale, who was in Vietnam War, captured and held at a place called the Hanoi Hotel for 8 years, tortured. Him and his men, tortured constantly. And when he was finally released, him and his men, those that survived, were released. He was interviewed, and he was asked, what made the difference between those who survived here and those that didn't? And his answer was, the optimists never made it. The optimists never made it. Why was that? Because the optimists were the ones who said, we'll be released by Thanksgiving. And then when they weren't, had a broken heart. We're going to have this thing happen by this point in time. And then when it didn't, had a broken heart and died of a broken heart. And so I know that we are a society of goal setting and direction and setting dates and setting time, but there is something so deeper going on here. There is something so much greater than any goal or directive or date you can set. And it has to do with your own personal trust in that your life flourishes, that it must, if you are who you came here to be, as opposed to what you think you came here to do. Now, I'm not saying that in the beingness we don't do stuff. I am saying that when I personally trust in that my only job in life is to master that which I am passionate about, to get better and better at that which I am passionate about, I trust that everything else gets taken care of. And what I have noticed is the deeper that trust sinks in me, the more that actually happens. That I don't have to set a goal of this, that, or the other thing. We've been looking at the financial foundation of this center now for the 2 years I've been here. And at first, I set for myself and with our board a lot of financial goals around this place. And what I noticed was that we weren't hitting those marks, and that I felt frustrated and distraught around that. And so what happened was, as I shifted my thinking into what I am telling you today, that my job is not to see this place financially be stable or flourish, but to be who I have come here to be, and know and trust that the financial stability and flourishing of this place happens on its own because I am doing what I have come here to do in the beingness I have come here to be. Does that make sense? You guys with me? Yes. All right.
And it is.
And it is. So what we had last month for the very first time since I've shown up here is we finished the month for the very first time with money in the bank. And that didn't happen because I was focused on money in the bank. That happened because the only thing I have been focusing on here is being who I have come here to be and creating a center that I envision for standing for the principles and foundation of what it is we want to see in the world. That's it. And thinking to myself every single day I'm here, what can we do to improve, master even greater, this center being that place of peace, that beacon of light, that fountain of wisdom, that tower of strength. What can we do to do that here? What is our next step in the beingness to have us shine the light we want to shine in the world? And what can I do to be that? That's all I think about, really, besides making movies, which, I have a lot of passion around too, but even in the movies we make around here, it's always about how can we make them better? What can we do to improve? What do I need to master next? Because I am clear and trusting and positive that if I stay in that beingness and I take action out of that, the rest takes care of itself, and it constantly does. The level of trust I keep growing grows greater and greater and greater so that I have nothing to surrender to, nothing to let go to. In fact, what I'm doing even more of that is holding on and standing firm in that trust. And when I see myself waver, which I do, being, spiritual person in a human body, when I feel myself start waver, I don't start looking out at the circumstances going, oh my God, what do I need to do to change them? Because I know that doesn't work. It isn't that I couldn't change the circumstances, right? I'm sure you've experienced this in your life. You go forward in your life, you take action, and you've set goals, and you see change occur. Life demonstrates, and you are successful because you have powered through. But then what you may notice is those feelings, whatever you did, you were feeling like needed to change, and then you made the change, but you did it from a place of making the change instead of changing your thinking first. What happens then is that some situation will come up where you start dealing with the same stuff again. Right? Yes? That's what happens. You wind up having the same thing in a different form, in a different shape, but it feels so darn familiar. Because you didn't heal the thing that needed healing, you just drove through, which we can do as powerful human beings. But I want to tell you there's another way to be here, which is not do that, which is instead sit with what it is I need to change instead of the circumstance, what it is in me that needs to shift, and then with the actions I take seem to be incredibly more effective and have a tremendous amount of more power to them when it comes out of that place of who I am being. And that's really the key here. That's the thing we're always wanting, that I encourage you to really strive for every single day. It doesn't matter whether you're 10 years old or 100 years old. It's still worth it. It's still worth it. There's never a moment that it's not worth going closer towards being that which you have come here to be. And who you have come here to be is not the same as who I come to be. There's no universal, this is who we've all come here to be. I mean, maybe some things, generic like being loving, might be something we all want to do. But there's also very uniqueness to each of us. We're all here to be our unique selves. Every single one of us. And in that uniqueness, you bring forth your passion. When you bring forth your passion, you have added something to life that life needs desperately. This world needs our passion. It thrives on it. And every single time one of us brings forth our passion in a way that allows for us to grow and be more who we have come here to be, we've changed everything for everybody. Every single time. Now, a lot of times we don't notice that that's the impact until somebody rises to the top of the chain, right? Like our first black president. Well, then everything actually does feel a little bit different than it did before, and something has shifted in the entire way that we can all see. But long before that happened, there was Martin Luther King saying, I have a dream. And long before he had that, there were others who we don't even know the names of, who did whatever, who stood in whatever place it was theirs to stand, to be whoever it was they were theirs to be, to have all these different changes that of course happen, that are actually inevitable when people are willing to be who they have come here to be. So change is inevitable. Change in the direction of love wins is actually, I know that you can look at Venezuela now and you can look at all these other places and go, what love? How's love winning? But you got to realize that this has been going on for hundreds of thousands of years with humans, and then before that, other species. That this is an evolutionary process that we are involved with, that we get to have say in how we develop within ourselves. I know that I'm not the same person I was even a year ago. I mean, I see the changes in myself. I look at my wife and the way she's flowering and growing and the way our relationship is, and I'm like astounded that what we bring to life and to each other is just continues to flower the way it does. But it's not doing that because we're looking at, how to change the circumstances. We're doing that because we're looking at how to change ourselves. How to grow and be who we have come here to be. It makes a difference for all of us. Every time one of us do it, all of us get to benefit from that. Every time the tiniest change in your life occurs, where you have taken on something inside yourself that you never have before and said, okay, I'm going to make a greater stand for this. I'm going to trust even deeper in the love that's within me and without, and how all that works together. I'm going to trust even deeper here. Every time one of us does that, we all benefit. Humanity rises a little bit more. It may not be seen at first. It may take time. It may take a couple of generations. I don't know. But one of the things I trust in is in perfect and right time for myself and for humanity. It's what helps me through when things look so dark, not just for myself, but for humanity. It's what allows me to move forward and not get depressed, is this sense of trust that is so deepens within me and continues to deepen within me, and what I encourage you to allow to deepen within you. It's what allowed me to stay in Cincinnati without a job and without any income until my inner self said it was time to move. And the book showed up, and the online center showed up, and those things, they showed up when they were ready to. And it was the perfect and right time. This is what's possible in your life. This is what's possible every time you go a little beyond your fear and a little deeper into trust. If your best first step is letting go and surrendering, okay. But keep an eye out for a deepening of the foundation of trust, because it feels so strong beneath my feet and get stronger every day. And that's what you want. You want to feel unshakable. You want to feel unshakable in a world that will do anything it can to shake you. Stand strong. Trust. You are God. You are a being of brilliance. You are a creative powerhouse. Right now, you have a unique gift waiting for life to benefit from. And even in the tiniest of things you do, you are impacting all of us. And thank you for that. And I love you. All right, this is the part of our program where we invite somebody up to be prayed on, because that's what we do. We pray on each other. We know the truth for each other. So if you have the courage to stand up and go, I want to be prayed on today, everyone will benefit from that. Everyone gets the benefit when one person stands up here and says, please pray on me. What is it you'd like us to pray for, Howard?
Well, I have a low white blood cell count, and I was going to go to a medical appointment tomorrow, but I had to cancel my medical appointment because...
So what do you want us to pray for?
What?
What do you want us to pray for?
Health.
Health. Turn around, face everybody. 8 to 10 folks, come on up, lay hands on Howard. Everybody else, and you guys up here, everybody take a deep breath, close your eyes and relax. And as we always do, let's start within our own hearts. Feel the healing energy and power in your heart. Feel how healing this source is. Now allow it to move out through your entire body. Feel the source within you. Now feel it throughout the entire room. Feel how when we come together this way, the power and the presence and the healing exponentially rises. And now take all this magnificent healing energy and send it right through Howard. Let him feel it. Know it. Be it. This incredible healing energy of light, of God. Knowing for Howard perfect health, vitality, the creative beingness in every cell of his body becoming whole and in alignment with the all. Know for Howard his divinity of righteous healing. And I am so grateful to be in a room of such powerful, creative, spiritual beings this day, where we know for each other the healing, the essence, and love. And I release this knowing it to be so, and so it is. All right. Take out what you're going to give. Hold it in your hand. Unfold it. Whether it's $1, $10, $100, deeds of property, diamond mines. Doesn't matter. Hold it in your hand. Because this is power. This is presence. Unfold it. And as we all say together our affirmation, God is the source of all supply. Money is God in action. What we give, we receive multiplied abundantly. All that God is, I am, and so it is.